Good. Tap the screen, everybody. Tap the screen. Tap it on up and share.
Awesome. Great. We should be both on the Tube and on Twitch now. So fantastic. All right. Awesome. Hi, Hector. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm doing well. All right. We have so much to talk about today.
Yeah,
Oh,
and it's not even going to touch the surface of everything happening.
yeah. It's like, bruh, what are we doing? What are we doing? So, all right, let's do it like this. All right. Hi, guys. Welcome in. Welcome in. So happy to have you all here today. All right, both on the Tube, Twitch, and of course here on TikTok. All right, what I am going to need is for everyone to do their part today. All right, because the Fun and Facts show is here. All right, and we are here to bring you your news throughout the week. All right, so everything that basically happened since last Wednesday. And my gosh, was it a lot? With that being said, guys, I want you all to be active participants. Let's make sure that we're doing all of the good things. That means that we'll be tapping the screen over here on the TikTok. That means we'll be liking the stream over there on Twitch and the Tube. And over here on TikTok, we want to make sure that we're sending out our daily heart me's. Do all of the good things. Let's knock out our gift goals because we want to make sure that we get on the FYP. And this goes for my page and for Hector. So let's make sure that we're doing all of the good things, guys, because doing so allows you all to get the news that you need. So with that being said, again, I'm Erica. All right. As you all know, I'm almost 60. Okay. If you've been paying attention, I'm almost 60 and I have just a natural passion for politics and, of course, current events, the news in general. I want to welcome you all in. And I would say my elevator pitch for this would be that I just have a natural zeal for doing the right thing. I want to never speak over anyone, but definitely speak up for those who can't speak for themselves. And so, with that being said, I would say I got into politics around 2008 when Obama announced that he would be running. So, actually, 2007. And like, canvassed for him, made phone calls, went to rallies. It was a lot of fun. Got a little bit disillusioned. Then Donald Trump came around. I was like, oh my God, we cannot go back. All right. But here we are going back. So we have a lot to talk about. And I'm so happy to be here with one of my best friends here, Hector. Hector, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Welcome in, everybody. My name is Hector, aka Hector Talks. I started doing politics mid last year in light of Kamala Harris running for the 2024 presidential election. Essentially because I saw the world around me and I wanted to see how I could do anything to change it. And that's how this entire platform was born. I'm big on people power. I'm big on seeing what we can do when we come together, whether it's in our community or very much in our electoral college, in our political process. I think we have historical backgrounds and precedent to show that we can do amazing things when we come together. So that's the purpose of this platform. Obviously, with the calling out of misinformation, disinformation, and anyone who opposes that. And we all know who that side of the aisle is. With that being said, I am the facts.
And I am the fun. I want to let you guys know that he was supposed to say, so with that being said, she's the fun, and I would say he's the facts. It's okay. I'm kind of a control freak. Okay. But anywho, with that being said, guys, again, let's go ahead and get this started. So, Hector, what we had so much happen over the last week. What the biggest headline for you? Which one stood out the most?
The biggest.
Yes.
The
biggest, the greatest, or is it the largest? It's the largest, biggest, the largest.
It's the same. But every time you say the biggest, I think of Trump automatically. The biggest, it's the biggest ever. The biggest.
Bigly.
Yeah, the bigly.
I gotta stop hitting my mic though. I know that much.
I feel like it's just super obvious. The biggest thing we'd have would be in regards to the files. That's what everyone's talking about. That's what everyone's focusing on, which is good. I do think for a moment we got awfully quiet about it in light of the shutdown being the big thing. So I'm kind of glad we're back to that. But I also don't want to lose sight of many of the other things happening behind the scenes, things that the Trump administration is very much also getting away with because we're so hyper-focused on the files, which we still have 30 days or less before its actual release.
Exactly. And Bondi mentioned that he'll have basically like giving him 10 days to sign it. But like speaking of the fouls, here's the thing with those fouls, right? Is that Mike Johnson said something
Mm,
yesterday.
must be
He
drinking.
said something to the effect of that he couldn't believe that the Senate just voted for it. No, he couldn't believe that Schumer just brought it to the floor and they voted on it because he wanted some amendments to be made to it, but he never said what those amendments were. He said that things needed to be looked over. He never said what needed to be looked over. So there was no like specifying anything. And I have so many sneaky suspicions, but one of them is definitely the suspicion that this is kind of laying the groundwork for them to say, oh, he can't sign it. So because we have to go over it. There's stuff that needs to be redone. So it's like laying the groundwork for it. But I also have other theories that I'm working on too. If you want to flesh those out, I'm more than happy to do so though. Like I can talk about it. You want to talk about it?
See,
No? Okay.
it's no. It's just more and more excuses.
Yes.
And the big thing is going to be the victims' names, which was already a part of it. What's
Hmm.
the name of that one guy who voted no? Clay Higgins. Clay
Yeah, out of
Higgins.
Louisiana.
Oh, this is making them guilty until proven innocent. That's not the case at all. So the same excuses are
Not how
going to
that
be
works.
made. I just hope it fails once again because it's about time.
Hmm.
I think the flip of the Republican Party making the vote and finally getting us on this pathway to getting something, which that's a whole another conversation, what we're actually going to get if we get
Uh-huh.
anything at all. But we're moving in the direction to where at this point, at least, if we see much more excuses and pushback from Republicans being made, I do think that's going to somewhat help the general public, even the most staunch maggots. I think that's going to help them go, oh, you're going full force on this. Why is
Exactly.
that?
Why is it? And because what's very it's odd to me that a person who first said, that of course these files do exist, I'm going to release them once I'm president, all of a sudden was saying, no, it's a hoax. It's a Democratic hoax. They're out to get me. It's a lie. And yeah, they don't exist. Was saying all of that to all of a sudden make a complete 180 and say, release the files. I'll sign any bill that comes across my desk. It's like, what is happening here? It all seems performative. I know that's the word of the year, but it just seems performative because again, I do have other theories. Wink, wink. Do you want to talk about them? Like, talk about them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yay! Talk about theories. Okay, so my other theory here with these files is that he's gonna sign the bill. Like it's gonna come across his desk. He's gonna sign it, but then we're not gonna immediately get the files, right? That's not what's gonna happen. It's gonna be on hold again, and everybody's gonna be like, "Where are the files, Donald? Where are the files?" And he's gonna be like, "My team's working on them," and they're gonna be like, "No, but you said you released them." But we have to wait. We want to make sure, or some stupid shit that he'll say. I don't know. I don't know how to think like Trump. But with that being said, Bondi is definitely going to hold her press conference and they're going to give us like some random inconsequential thing. I talked about this the other day. They're going to give us something that, doesn't really matter, that doesn't do anything. It'll probably list like a few like Democratic playmakers or something like that. And then boom, that's it. And then she's going to drop the hammer. She's going to say, we aren't able to release all of the files because they're sealed due to an ongoing investigation.
I did just literally see your video on that. I think that's an interesting and very likely theory if they're still
Hmm.
going down the, excuse me, if they're still going down the route of cover up, cover up, cover up, or better yet, format it to where we can just paint Democrats in a particular light, which will still be
Exactly.
telling in and of itself, that could be very likely. You mentioned 10 days. He has 10 days to sign into law, correct?
No, not 10 days. He has 30
Oh,
days to sign it into law, but Bondi said that he would need about 10 to do it. So they
got
want
you.
to have it signed within 10 days.
Hmm. Do you think it's going to actually be signed within 10 days? I feel like they're
Mm,
going to drag it out as long as they possibly can.
I think I don't know. When it comes to that, putting a time frame on it, and with all that, like all of the attention, the spotlight, I do think that he is going to sign it within the 10 days.
Mm.
I think he's going to sign it within the 10 days, but again, will it have its immediate release? Immediate release? I don't think so.
That's valid. Okay, that's fair. I can see that being likely. Um, yeah, I think we're going to see another incident with 1,000 agents scrubbing over what I think it was an estimated 10,000 hours that it took.
Yikes.
I read
That's a
an
long
interesting
time.
report actually listening to Facts Don't Matter Live where there was a whistleblower who was talking about some of the documents and just how unorganized it was, to where you
Mhm.
could open up a file, you can see Sam. You can open up a file and see all kinds of stuff, and it was just
Oh,
a
I
mess for
remember that. That
everyone.
was in May that they talked about that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, that
Uh,
was could you imagine? Like I wouldn't be able to do that job, having to look over that type of information, and like how does it not have an impact on them? I ain't gonna hold you. If I had to look over that type of information, I would have leaked that shit. I ain't even gonna hold you. Like not the CSAM stuff, of course, but that's sick. I'm talking about I would have just leaked the Epstein files. I'm just gonna be honest.
I
I would have took
think
one for the team.
it's really going down some interesting lanes. I would not be surprised if we've had several people try already. I think they just really have it on lock. Something that
You think
important,
so?
especially if it's estimated to do what we think it would do, which is undo the deep state,
Uh-huh.
expose several prominent Republican, Democrat corporations, so on and so forth. I don't think anyone has a chance to try. I don't think anyone who um, would still be with us today. I don't believe that at all.
Yeah, okay. All right. Since I'm down to 2 social media managers. With that being said, you know, I'm gonna talk about the stuff I want to talk about. All right. And it's just all my thoughts. All right. You can't go around and say that, well, Erica said this and Erica said that, because you know what? Yeah, I said it and I said that these are my thoughts. All right. This is not something that is based in fact. This is purely conjecture. So with this being purely conjecture, I am going to say this out loud. He didn't kill himself.
Oh,
He didn't. Jeffrey
6,000%.
definitely didn't kill himself. And he was definitely unalive because he was about to spill the beans. We all know that. We know that. I can't wait for that truth to come out. That's going to be a fantastic truth right there. When that finally comes out, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Mhm. But can I do a
Yeah.
sidebar really quick?
Yeah.
Okay, so because like we go into entertainment news, and I wanted to this is because we're talking about Epstein. Like he's taking up the entire like every friggin' thing. Like, good God, can the man just rest in hell, please? Can you just rest in hell? No, all right. There's an article on TMZ that talks about one of the attorneys from his 2009 deposition. It talks about how he was asked about his egg-shaped member. What do y'all call it? I don't know. I want to say penis, but I don't know if I can
Mushroom
say that.
tip.
Mushroom tip? No, it was egg-shaped.
That's why I said tip. Are we talking about the whole thing,
It was
the whole
egg-shaped.
shebang?
I don't know. I don't know if the whole thing was or not.
Egg shaped is diabolical.
Egg-shaped is awful. When they said egg-shaped, I said, "Whoa, there's what? What does that look like?" Then I was like, "You know what? I'm not that curious. I'm curious. I'm not that curious. Like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I'm not that curious." So, anywho, so what ended up happening is that a lawyer named Spencer Coolin, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Again, back in the 2009 deposition, says that he actually got the idea to ask Jeffrey about his genitalia from, you'll never guess who.
Why are these
I'll give you a
questions
hint.
being asked? I don't know who.
You'll never guess who. Okay, okay. I'll give you a hint. All right, let me see. What's a good hint? He said, "I'm staring at the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways." Who that?
Michael Jackson.
And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself. and ask, why do you have an egg-shaped penis? So with that
Are we sure it wasn't the tip?
I don't know. I don't know if it was just the tip. It was egg-shaped. That's the whole thing about it. It was egg-shaped.
Because if
All right?
I
It was
don't care
egg-shaped.
actually to ask these questions. I don't. Oof. What
I'm
an
gonna keep telling you
interesting
the
thing
story.
they were discussing in
What?
2009.
So let me tell you why they got that. So what had happened was during MJ's one of MJ's trials, like from the early '90s, what had happened was the attorney, not the yeah, the prosecutor actually was able to get MJ to agree to take pictures of his genitalia because, of course, he had vitiligo, right? He had vitiligo, and they wanted to be able to confirm that, like, the spotches, so the different color of skin on his genitalia. Can I just say penis? On his penis was, in fact, his, and he wanted a witness to basically, like, one of the survivors to be able to identify it. So that's where he got the idea from.
Oh,
So yeah, he wanted to basically have Jeffrey take pictures of the egg and then, have the victims identify it. Well, the survivors identify it. That's what
I
they wanted to
mean,
do.
that makes sense.
Mhm.
Actually, no, I take that back.
It
Uh,
doesn't
uh,
does it make sense?
well, kind of, but
If it's unique, it would make sense.
yes, okay, that's fair, and it would be unique if it's shaped like Humpty Dumpty. My point is, I think a lot of victims in that situation would have been so traumatized that may not have been something that they even recalled. Obviously, it's a chance, it's a shot in the dark, but my immediate thought was that would have to be one unfortunately staining image for you to be like, oh yeah, it looked like blah blah blah. That's very
Yeah.
yeah, that's very traumatic.
Yeah.
Can I do a
So
sidebar real quick?
sure.
Want to give a special shout out to AC, who's actually been hosting lives, reading all of the emails that have been released, and that's been very crazy stuff. I'm sure Erica, you've seen a couple, and the rest of you may not have. Really looking at some of the stuff that's being said, the exchanges, the vitriol that he had with him and Trump, and then we see it reciprocated is crazy. So WCU, but yeah, I
Shout
guess it
out
was
to AC.
something, and it's better that you try that over. I don't know.
He
I'm
never
just
got to do it.
yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, because what happened is he ended up settling. So he never
Yeah.
got to do it. Which I think is actually a good thing, because could you imagine those photos floating around? I don't like to think about it. I'm not
Yeah,
that curious. I'm just not that curious at all.
that's fair.
Not. So yeah, with that being said, that was a sidebar for Jeffrey. I do think though that there's a grander problem that is starting to rear its ugly head in our society. And that is basically them being okay with harm to children. To say it in the most like the cleanest way possible for terms of services usage. So yeah. Yeah, like we've seen it like with these alt-right people, these white nationalists, like basically making it like making a case that 15-year-olds can consent. They can't consent. They're children. They're literally children. Like Megan Kelly. Megan Kelly,
Mm.
she was 15. It's not like she was 8. I'm sorry, what? 15 is a child. Will always be a child. Would be nothing more than a child. Like, no. How have we gotten so far to this point that people are actually willing to forget all that they know to to defend such abhorrent behavior? When did it when did it become okay to, like, have relations with children?
And the excuse is being made don't track. It will never cease to amaze me how selective they are about what they define as a child. Because in that instance,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she was 15. She wasn't 8. They say that with their full chest. They mean it.
Yeah.
And
What
you can't
happens? Well,
summarize.
she was 8. She wasn't 5.
You can't summarize stuff like that as a slip of the tongue or anything else when you have the likes of J.D. Vance and several other prominent Republicans referring to the grown ass men in that group chat that was
Mm-hmm.
leaked as kids.
Yes. Boys will be boys. It was a 30-year-old in that group chat.
Thank you, Judy.
A 30-year-old. Like, let's be so for real.
The youngest was 20.
I think so. Yeah. Nobody in that chat was like 18 years old. They're
Yeah.
all adults. And yeah, so and that's the thing that a certain sect of our society does to escape, to remove people from culpability, from taking accountability of their actions. They infantize them. They make them children. Because how can you hold a child responsible for their actions? They don't know any better. But these are fully grown humans who do know better. All right. And you're just basically you're doing this because if you accept that they did wrong, then you would have to understand that this is a reflection of you.
Mm.
And
Oop.
they don't want that because they don't want that heat on themselves.
Pastor,
So
could you say
there's
it
that.
one more time for the ones in the back?
I'm just gonna say it. If you accept that they did wrong,
You got to do it in your pastor voice. You got to do
I
it
gotta
in
do
your
it in a pastor voice. Okay.
Mhm.
Should I get my deaconess hat? No, it's upstairs. I'm not gonna go get it. Okay. If
You have a hat though?
I do have a hat. If you accept that they did wrong, then you would have to understand that it is a reflection of you. And y'all don't want to do that. Y'all don't want to do that. I know that much. No, you don't. You don't want to do that. Can I get an amen?
Bluetooth connected.
Somebody tell the pastor to preach.
Pupper's going crazy. What's going on, Jessica? Shout out, special shout out to Deacon I was about to say Deacon E Money.
Like call me Deacon E Money Bags.
Deacon E Money Bags is crazy.
I will take it. I could be Deacon E Money Bags for sure. All right. I'm gonna get that tatted somewhere one day. And I have no tattoos to speak of, but I'll put it on the list.
Literally
But
just crossed over to your chat to be messy. I just went over to your chat to be messy.
Oh, okay. We want to see the hats. No, it's I'll get it out. It's my cowboy hat. You've seen the hat before. It's my cowboy hat.
We calling that a deacon hat?
Yeah, it's my deaconess hat.
No, okay.
Yeah. I have a lot of hats, but they're mostly baseball caps, so that's like the hat. I have a few straw hats, but they just don't get going to church.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
there's
what
that.
the church hat looks like.
Yeah. I want to get one that's like green. I want a green church hat. And like with the plumage and all that stuff on it, I want one of those.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna wear it on a Tuesday.
Why a Tuesday?
I don't know. I just thought a Tuesday and it felt good.
Okay. All right.
It felt good.
It's oddly specific. I was curious.
Yeah, it felt good. Thursday didn't work. Wednesday didn't feel right. Friday, Saturday, not even a Monday or Sunday. No, Tuesday. Wear it on a Tuesday. Anywho, with that being said, what else do we have? So I know there's more news. What else do you got?
I wanted to talk about a W for the Democrats, a absolute W for the Democrats.
Let's go.
It's not going to go anywhere, unfortunately. Actually, let me stop being so negative.
So pessimistic.
Democrats introduced a bill to stop bribery from entities here in the United States. Any businesses that may have relationships or contracts with the government, called the Stop Ballroom Bribery Act, specifically in response to the White House and the suspicious donations that they've gotten towards building that over $300 million ballroom. So this was introduced a couple of days ago. It's sponsored by Elizabeth Warren, who is on her way out of the door next year. Respect everything that she did, but it is time. It is time. And that bill is going to address the not only just what's happening with the ballroom, but just any other future endeavors that this administration most likely will be getting private donations from people that, clearly we have reasons to be questioning.
I agree with you. That's going nowhere. It's going nowhere. It literally is going to basically, it's probably not even going to make it out of committee. So if it does get like accepted and then it goes to, they're not even going to hear it. I'm sorry. But because also another thing, you said in light of the recent money that they got in the donations for the ballroom, right? But has there been any like evidence or anything of that nature that shows that basically he's been accepting bribes? Because we can call him that, but is there any evidence for it?
That part's absolutely not. They've been keeping that information under wraps. Our laws currently allow it. That's one of the things that this would attempt to address, is where you have to put your name on it. You don't get to be anonymous. You have to keep a record of it. But again, currently, as everything sits right now, it'd already be one hell of a mountain to climb up to get it out of the committee. And it's another thing to get the House, and then much less the Senate, to actually sign it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Senate is weird to me because I thought with John Thune being the Senate Majority Leader and him being such like basically like a old school Republican, that they would be, more in line to go against the things that Donald Trump has been doing. But my God, has he been capitulating? Like, I think that's also the word of the year next to performative is capitulating. Because he's just basically doing whatever the hell it is Donald Trump wants him to do. And that I don't understand. What secrets does this man have on these people? Thinking about
Probably
it.
has something to do with Grindr.
Something to do with Grindr is wild. But hey, Hector.
It's the first thing I think every time.
Did you know that whenever the GOP is in town, Grindr is down? I should put that on a shirt.
That should be on a shirt.
I should. Hey, no one take that. Don't take my idea. If I see a shirt with it up there, I'm suing because that's mine. All right. I said that like 3 months ago, maybe 5. I said it first.
When the GOP is in town, Grindr is down. It's diabolical.
You know what? I'm gonna make that damn shirt today. What color should it be? Should it have any graphics on it? Or should it just be words, like in block letters?
Just the elephant. You gotta do the elephant. You gotta do the logo. Oh, well, I guess you can run into some issues there if you do that. You can switch it up a little bit. I can use
the elephant, but I can't use the Grindr logo, but I can spell out Grindr.
You can spell out with the color. But
Yeah.
You just can't use it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Ooh. Let me log into Printful. Okay. Anywho.
She's getting good with the graphics, y'all. She could do it. She's getting good with the graphics.
So here's the dealio. Did you hear about I sent you the article, but did you get the chance to read about the update in the Comey case?
Yes, I did sort of see a Rouge judge put some serious question into the not the merits. What's the word that I'm looking for? I'm trying to say.
Pretty much would be like the merits of the case.
Yeah,
it is the merits of the case. Yeah,
the merits of the case, because one of the attorneys, which was previously attorney for Trump, didn't have any experience whatsoever.
Attorney. People keep saying she was a real estate attorney. She was an insurance attorney. She wasn't a real estate attorney.
Yeah, not real estate.
She was insurance.
There's her lack of experience. There was a clear, consistent pattern of bias shown towards him, and that would be enough grounds to dismiss the case. I'm not sure if it was actually dismissed yet, but I remember reading the ruling from the judge saying that this is like on the brink of it.
Yeah, and which is crazy work, because what ended up happening is basically Comey's attorneys are asking for the case to be dismissed with prejudice. That means that it cannot be refiled again. All right. And so, they won't be able to bring these charges back. So with that being said, the reason why is because I remember when this first came out, what happened is on the original indictment, there were 3 charges, but he was only indicted for 2 of them, right? And so when they redid like the paperwork for the indictment, they had 2 of them listed, but on the paperwork, it still said 3. It was weird. And then also another thing that ended up happening is that the grand jury in the second time they tried to they went before a grand jury the second time, what ended up happening is that not all other grand jury members got to actually hear the indictment.
Mm.
They didn't, not the indict, but the charges. They didn't get to read over it or anything. And so this actually could, because they made a decision to actually indict him so that he could go to trial without hearing the evidence. I don't know how they were able to do that, but they did. And so this case definitely could get dismissed against Comey.
Do you happen to know what state this was in?
It was filed out of the Eastern District of Virginia.
Okay. Mm. I've said it before and I'll keep saying it. I hope when all of this mess that is said and done, we seriously look into the legislative errors that just keep skating past our process. Because you would think after hundreds of years of doing this in our government, that nothing would be allowed to get this far without it being properly investigated. This is something I've complained about even with the bills that people are signing in Congress, signing into law. We knew with what's that big one, S4361, the Langford bill, that the average Republican didn't even bother to read it. They just heard a Democrat was involved, and that was it. And I'm like, you would think that would be a minimum requirement. You're passing this. It's affecting people's lives. You have to read it. In fact, I think we should start quizzing people on everything. Quiz them. You don't know what you're talking
Congress
about.
People.
You don't get to vote on it. You don't get to put it further down the line if you don't know what's in it.
Well, they have aides that read the stuff for them. So there's that. I mean, they have the aides that read it and then like bring them the cliff notes, the spark notes for it. So they have that, but I do think that they should at least do some type of overview of it to have an understanding of it, the important parts to, especially like the parts that may go unnoticed. So like the pork that they like to slide into these bills. I call it the belly fat, but definitely they want to like look into that part. So at least they can be aware. And if it's something that wouldn't be beneficial maybe to their constituents, or simply they just don't like it, then they'll be able to argue it. But it seems like with our government as it works right now is that, oh, it's a Republican bill. Okay, I'll vote for it. Oh, it's a bipartisan bill. Okay, well then how much money am I getting for it? Oh, I'm getting money for it. Okay, I'll vote for it. Oh, it's a Democratic bill. Okay, I'm not going to vote for it. It's weird how it seems like our government works these days. It's so friggin' split. It's so partisan. It is so partisan. And in being that way, it feels like nothing actually gets done that's in the benefit of the American people. Like,
when they
we
hire
out
their own
here.
aides, they're hired out to enact what they want. So they're the ones who would tell their aide, we don't care about this, we don't care about this, we don't care about this.
Oh, that's
If they trust them, this is where the corruption bias comes into play, because maybe it could be something in that bill that whoever they be working for cares about. But if the aide doesn't like it, they're not going to relay that information over. It's a whole issue. And I get why. Obviously, our Congress people, our senators are very busy people.
They are.
If there's any party I'm not going to trust to hire the right folks to relay proper information to them, it's going to be the Republican Party.
It's pretty fucking much. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them, and I have no upper body strength. So there's that. But I wanted to go back to the Comey trial, because this is big. And this, if his case gets dismissed, then it gives me high hopes that the case against Letitia James will be dismissed, and then also that basically nothing will come of the case that they're trying to build against Linda Cook. Is it Linda or Lisa? I can't remember. It's Lisa Cook. Yeah, that's the Governor Lisa Cook on the Fed. Also, I have something about that too in just a moment. But what ended up happening is, I'm reading this from NBC News. I know people might not like them because they're legacy media, but I've been rocking with NBC since like friggin' 2007, and they never steered me wrong. So I fucks with NBC News. But here's the thing about it, and I want to read this off. It says U.S. District Judge Michael Nachmanoff passed press prosecutor Tyler Lemons on concerns about information that had been raised by two other judges about information that appeared to be missing from the transcripts of the grand jury proceedings in the case. The concerns centered on two separate indictments that had been drafted. The first, which showed the grand jury had indicted Comey on 2 of 3 counts, and a second that had just the 2 counts. Lemons acknowledged that a grand jury coordinator had edited the first indictment, which was then signed by acting U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, Lindsay Halligan. That lady. The second indictment is a document that was never shown to the entire grand jury. Nachmanoff asks, "Yes, that is my understanding," Lemons responded. The judge then briefly questioned Halligan, a former personal lawyer to President Donald Trump with no prior prosecutorial experience. Yeah, and then the last part, it says, Halligan, who presented the case to the grand jury on her own just days after being appointed, said the 4-person and 1 other grand juror were with her when she presented the second indictment to a magistrate judge. I can't talk because I need water. But yeah. And the indictment was signed by a 4-person, but not reviewed by the entire grand jury. She don't know what the fuck she's doing.
Which is what happens.
When you hire an insurance attorney to be a prosecutor. Why would you do that?
The swamp guys, the swamp.
Exactly. Why would you hire? And also, I really needed to put my glasses on while reading that because, bruh, I cannot see without my goddamn glasses. Oh, that was a struggle. Let me make the font bigger. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make the font bigger. Oh, but Hector, quick sidebar. Wouldn't it be cool if we could like pull the information on the screen?
So we can, and then it's going to involve the thing that we both are beefing with right now.
Oh, gotta go to the studio.
Yeah, yeah. The only other thing I can think of would be OBS. So it's something you can do if it was Tube, and then we got the Tube stream over here, which we technically ought to look into that because we don't need guests for this.
We don't.
So yeah, I'll have to look at that.
Okay. Once you look into that and you figure it out, let me know, and then I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll use Studio for that.
Once you look into that.
Yeah, once you look into it.
Once you look into it.
I've done my part. I've done my part. So with that being said, yeah, so I think that the Comey case is definitely it's gonna get thrown out because even with Letitia James, the crazy thing about her case, I remember reading about that one is that the first guy who was on it, I think his last name started with an S, he said that they did not have enough evidence to charge her with anything. And so that's why he was putting that case to the side and they wanted to keep working on it, but he just didn't have enough. But Trump was like, no, charge her now. Like Trump was like, make it enough. All right. Make it enough. Do you get that reference?
No.
You don't get that reference?
Make it enough?
Yeah, I do. Should we just have a moment for Erica explains it? Okay. All right. So make it enough. All right, that's from Friday. That's from Friday. So basically, Smokey's mom asked her to go to the store for her. Asked him to go to the store for her, and she was like rattling off a whole bunch of stuff. And he was like, I think she gave him like a 10, and he was like, 10, that's not enough. And she was like, make it enough. So whenever you give someone something, right, a task to do, or you give them something to say, well, this isn't enough, you tell them, make it enough. And then you walk off.
I think we're just going to have to put Friday on the...
You're going to have to put Friday on the list, Hector.
Yeah. I'm going to put on the list.
Do it. Yeah. Make it enough. So, yeah. I tell my kid that all the time. He'd be like, there's not enough. Make it enough.
Bluetooth disconnected.
Doesn't matter what it is. Just make it enough.
Your mic started doing something weird. It's good now, though.
Yeah, no, my mic, the Bluetooth keeps going in and out for some reason. I don't know why. Like, I'm seriously about to like write corporate. I'm about to go get my Karen wig, put it on, and get to typing. It's hindering me. No,
So
try.
Lisa Cook,
What about it?
that's still pending. I keep
Yeah,
forgetting a lot of these cases are
it's going to the
pending.
Supreme Court. It was already at the Supreme Court, but no, it's going to the Supreme Court if I last remember it correctly. Let me check.
My whole thing is after we waste all of this time and energy and resources and taxpayer
Uh-huh.
dollars going after people for existing, um, many of them existing while black, um, I can't wait to see every last one of them sue the administration and get every dollar worth because they have to pay for this stuff
Yep.
out of their own pocket. They have to pay to represent themselves versus against false claims and misinformation. So I hope they sue the shit out of the Trump administration, and I hope they get every dime. And some of it currently, as he sits in the Oval Office, is probably going to come out of our pockets. It's going to come out
I
of
was
our
about to
taxes.
say, who's gonna pay for it? Who's gonna pay for it? Who's gonna pay for it? That goes for a
It,
broader issue. Also, though, like when we look at things because of the immigration tactics that he's taking, like the illegal detainment of American citizens, about 170 so far. The deportations of American citizens, specifically children. There are suits for that. So, I mean, like, there's going to be a lot to come out of that. There's going to be a lot. But yeah, I do have hope that, again, I wanted to wrap up the Comey thing because I have a hope that with his case, if it is thrown out, it'll basically set like the groundwork to throw out the Letitia James case. And then it hopefully, basically will make the Lisa Cook case null and void, even though hers is a bit different because she's not a foe of his. Like the other ones, he has publicly disparaged as like his enemy. He's talked bad about them. But Lisa Cook, on the other hand, she necessarily hasn't said, Governor Cook, she hasn't said anything about Donald Trump, really. Her whole thing is just as a governor on the board, he wants her out because he wants to install a loyalist on the governor board. So we'll have to see how that one works out. And basically, the Supreme Court has to rule whether or not he has basically the authority, the ability, or whatever to actually fire her. So we'll see what happens.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
In conclusion, with your point, I did a quick little bit of math here because you mentioned
Mm-hmm.
170 people that we know of,
Yeah.
so far that have been wrongfully detained. It costs $17,181 for the average detainment and deportation, and multiply that by 170, we're looking at about 80,000 shy of $3 million.
Oh, wow. My gosh.
$3 million
Okay.
is exactly what was requested from the Section 32 fund to fully fund SNAP. We all know how that went. It's a lot of
3
money.
million or 3 billion? Are you saying M
Billion.
with
Billion.
billion?
Billion.
Okay. I thought you
Yes.
said
Ooh,
million.
got that off. So
Okay.
three
You got to
3 million.
enunciate.
3 million is the number for how much we spent in those wrongful detainments and deportations, and 3 billion. Yeah, that's correct. 3 billion for that number. Regardless,
Okay. I got you.
it's a lot of tax-paying dollars that are going into mess ups. This is again only what we know.
That is true. That is very, very true. And I mean, somebody's going to have to pay for this. Unfortunately, I do think that it is going to be the American citizens. It's going to be us. We're going to be
I'm
paying out of our
guaranteed it.
pocket. That's where our tax money is going to be going to. So just get prepared, guys. Get prepared. But hey, at least the corporate tax rate, like the corporate tax cuts are permanent, and billionaires and shit are getting a tax cut. That's all that matters.
If you say so.
Yeah. So
Did you hear
what
about what
about
happened with Senator Duckworth?
Senator Duckworth? No. What happened?
Not Senator. Yes, Senator Duckworth. So she had a staffer that recently tried to impersonate an official, her lawyer, for a person who was wrongfully detained, and he was just fired. Apparently, there was a man. What state was it again? Um, yes, here we go.
Okay.
So he was there's a man who was wrongfully detained. It was in St. Louis. Well, not wrongfully, but they went as far back into his record to go to 2003 and 2005. Between those 2 years, he was deported 3 or 4 times. He was able to come back. He got a DUI where he was arrested for driving under the influence. And the court gave him the opportunity to go through a program, pay some fines, give him this probationary period of 2 years. And if you don't get any mess ups within that 2 years, you successfully complete the program, you have no slip ups, then you're good. And they removed it off his record. He did that. He's been an innocent man ever since. He started his own business, a very popular bar and grill, doing super well. He's up to date on his taxes.
How many years ago was it?
This was 2000, and so the last year would be 5. So this would be 20 years ago.
Okay.
They went that far back and saw his citizenship, which the ruling that he got in that case is what was the hiccup in him becoming a citizen. And him at the time, he wasn't super familiar with English. So he didn't fully understand what everything was being told to him. The prosecutor was not his defense, but that's what he thought. So he didn't realize that him taking the deal that he did would affect him becoming a citizen. So that's why he's been able to do nothing since. But he lived his life. He did everything he needed to do. And they went and detained him. And now he's on schedule for deportation. So I'm not sure, and we're still investigating this, what the relationship is between the staffer and this individual, but he tried to impersonate an attorney to get access to him and get him out. And he was caught and fired. But that is not the part that I'm actually interested in. I'm interested in the fact that we keep doing this whole thing with saying we're going after violent criminals, and we're bothering people who are tax-paying citizens, running businesses, important established members of the community. And now we're about to lose him because what? Because of a crime that he wasn't even officially convicted for based off of his deal 20 fucking years ago. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. So no, that was a lie to get people, well, to get the right behind it. So to get MAGA behind mass deportation was a lie to say we're getting rid of the criminals, because those people don't read. I'm just going to be honest. I don't care. They don't read. They don't have the ability to critically think. At least the average MAGA supporter doesn't. Like you sometimes get one that has read a book or a half. So with that being said, yeah, that was a lie that they told. But I'm reading over this story and yikes. Like what? How are we? He wrote a letter, and so they're trying to go at the senator to see if she had anything to do with it, but she said categorically no, she didn't have anything to do with it. And of course, this is just a person who hasn't had anything on his record since 2005, so 20 years ago. And they went that far back.
That far back. So much for redemption, so much for changing your ways. I love when they go, everything you guys have on Trump was 20, 30 years ago, which is a lie.
Only Republicans can change their ways.
If anything,
and let me be clear, not just Republicans, only white male Republicans can change their ways. Just so you all are clear, so you don't get any ideas. White male Republicans can change their ways. That's it. Yeah.
I can't wait for Byron Donalds to fuck up.
Oh, that's gonna be some shit.
I can't wait for him to fuck up.
He gonna what he gonna learn? All right, y'all forgive me. He gonna learn that, even if you want to binge, you're still a nigga in a coop. Do you know that reference?
Yes, I do know that reference.
All right, cool. Ooh, I thought I was gonna have to explain it. It's like, do I have to explain that one?
Did you know he's the top runner in the Republican Party for the governor of Florida?
Really? Why?
Endorsed by Trump.
Why?
I don't know what happened between a couple years ago and now. I remember him being very irrelevant and a token for the Republican Party. Wait, and now Florida's pushing him forward.
Has DeSantis met some type of term limit or something? Or is he running to get? Okay, all right. So it's term limits.
I believe it's undetermined if it's either a term limit or it's undetermined if he's going to run again, because he has family members thinking about getting in the race, one of them being his sister.
Okay.
I want to say it's a term limit. I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. But yeah, you guys are looking at unless Democrats get it together in Florida, and it's going to be a hard state to win. You're looking at Byron Donalds as your next governor, which would be
Byron Donalds
yikes.
is wicked work. That's wicked
Yeah.
work. I don't. That man got one brain cell fighting for first place. I'm lying. That damn brain cell is fighting for second place.
This man said with his full chest that life was better for Black people before the Civil Rights Act, and our families are more together during segregation. So, of course, he is sponsored by President Trump.
Life was better. Better is wicked.
In fact, I'll pull up that clip.
You mean like the fear of being lynched? Like that was better? Like,
I mean, at least we got lynched together.
At least I mean, like, hey, we all. What the fuck did you just say? I guess we suffered the fire bombs together. What?
We went through. We went through 1985 and those violence. We went through the Black Wall Street burning down. We did it all together, and now women want to be independent. You know the fucking rhetoric.
I want to hear this clip. I want to hear what he said.
Pull it up here.
I'm not even gonna hold you. I am not even gonna kid. For the purposes of my sanity and like my sanity and like just my peace, I don't like to engage with those things. I don't seek out that information.
I always say it, and it somehow finds its way to my door.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
DeSantis. Shoot. What's his name? Byron Donalds.
Because no, I'm good. I don't want no parts of that shit. Nope, not at all. That's wicked work to think that like you're a Black man who actually has I guess we can call it the benefit of living in this current time where we do have something like the Civil Rights Act as law. And like the majority, like all states actually have their own civil right protection. So you get to, have some whites only pie. You don't have to worry about eating just niggas only pie. You don't have to do that. You can have some whites only pie. But he don't just want a slice of the whites only pie. That's not what he wants. All right. He wants to cook the whites only pie. He want to put that shit together. All right. He wants to be like in their kitchen, in their house. The nigga wants to be white. Is what he wants. And I don't quite understand that. What is it with the proximity to whiteness that these people desire so greatly? Like seriously, Hector, for real, like seriously, you're gonna have to watch Life, seriously. But we have to really explore this. Like, it's something with like it was 100 people here. Listen, it's something with dark skinned Black people and the proximity to whiteness. And I think colorism has a lot to do with it. But I really think that's something that we have to explore. So like, I'm gonna go back to school and get like a degree in sociology, maybe anthropology. I'm not sure, but definitely sociology. And then we'll be able to have that conversation. Because that's a lot of fucking work to unpack all of that.
I don't think we have enough I don't think we have enough of a lifetime to explore that level of never mind.
You don't think so? But think about that though. Think about it.
That would be something. Thank you guys for the gifts, by the way. So let me know if y'all can hear this. Otherwise, I'll pull it up on my phone. Where's my sound? Hold on. Okay, literally my sound's not working. Give me a moment. Give me a moment.
You're experiencing technical. Should I play the whole music for you? What do you want me to do?
It's literally when I try to play it, it mutes every time. I don't know why.
Oh, you need a production assistant. Anywho. So with that being said, yeah, I think that's something that I really, 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 I want to explore that so bad. I've been thinking about that actually for months, like when it comes to dark skinned Black people and the person, because when you look at the majority of the MAGAs, what's their complexion? What's their skin color? A lot of them ain't light skinned. A lot of them are what? Go ahead and say it.
Damn. That's actually never something I've given much thought. So now it's just
It's
kind of
because I'm a
hitting
woman.
me.
I pay attention to things.
There's that. Yes. It just now hitting me that, oh shit, they're literally all they're
Dark skin. Say it. They're dark skin.
I was gonna name somebody specifically.
Nah, you don't have to name anyone. Want me to do it? I'll name him. What are you gonna do?
I didn't
Osa?
name it. It was gonna be an actor. I was gonna do an act. Osa is
Oh.
diabolical. Yeah,
I'll
him
say
though.
Osa.
Okay, I have
All
it
them
here.
niggas. Oh, excuse my language. Somebody said Santana Ray. Welcome in, Santana Ray. Do all the good things while you're here. Thank you.
W's. All right. So here we go.
North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, but Florida Congressman Byron Donalds hit a new low.
And specifically it was Jim Crow, not slavery, but I mean, yeah.
This is the quote unquote good old days. Watch.
During Jim Crow, the Black family was together. During Jim Crow, more Black people were not just conservative, because Black people always are conservative minded, but more Black people voted conservative leaning. And then HEW, Lyndon Johnson, and then we go down that road, and now we are where we are.
Did everyone hear that clearly or
That was
decent enough?
low-key hard to hear, but I heard him. So here's the thing. He's not wrong in a sense. Like most Black people are socially conservative. Like the majority of Black people do believe in family. I didn't say nuclear family, so don't try to run with that. But they do believe in family. All right. They believe in tradition. A lot of them do believe in the church. So there's that. But we also believe in progression. So moving forward. All right. And when you talk about conservatives back then, all right, back in the day, all right, what he's doing is he is once again conflating party with ideology. Is what he's doing. So I want you all to be aware of that. All right. And because this is sort of kind of my juke joint, Hector might have a moment to rant.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're gonna call this Erica needs to catch a bubble. But have a moment to rant. And guys, this is why I'm fun, because I'm literally fucking hilarious. All right. And it literally is like pulling teeth to get Hector to laugh, because Hector is always thinking about a gazillion things at once. So he misses the nuance.
Why am I getting called out right now?
Because you are, because what I said was hilarious to me and you didn't laugh. And so here we are. All right.
This is what? Never mind.
Okay. With that being said, here's my rant. All right. Let's stop confusing ideology with party. Okay. Basically to spare you the entire history lesson, all right, it's simply put is that it was not a party shift. That's not what happened. All right. The beliefs of the parties changed. So the ideology changed. All right. Their values, what they wanted, what they stand for, that changed. All right. And why did that change? This started happening around the late 50s, 1960s is when it started to change. We can even go back as far as like Delano Roosevelt. What's his first name? Franklin Delano Roosevelt. All right. When he did the New Deal, he was a Democrat. All right. And that party at the time was seen to be more conservative. All right. And in being more conservative, they were more so for smaller government, less social programs. All right. They also stood for things like segregation. So Jim Crow. All right. They didn't want civil rights. But when FDR came around, and FDR saw the state of the country, because we were basically in economic collapse because of the Great Depression, he saw the way that to get the country out of said economic collapse was by basically uplifting the working class. And the way he was going to accomplish that, I should say, was by the New Deal, by investing in these social programs. So that's what FDR did. Now, here's the thing. Those social programs like Social Security, the workers program that they had to help people get employment in building infrastructure, that wasn't available to Black people. That was available only to white people. However, Black people who typically voted more liberal, and at that time, the Liberal Party was in fact the Republican Party, saw that, hey, this party over here is actually helping the working people. Maybe they can help us too. So they started to see just a little bit of a change of Black people going more so towards the Democratic Party. All right, they started to see that. However, around 1960, because the Republicans kept taking big losses, they weren't just taking losses on a federal level, they were taking losses on a local and also a state level. I'm sorry, the Democrats, I'm going to say the conservatives were. I'm just going to say conservatives and liberals from here on out to keep it simple. So the conservatives were taking big hits on local, state, and federal levels, especially when it came to filling the House and the Senate and the presidency. So what they noticed around 1964 is that we now have something on the books called the Civil Rights Act. All right. The Civil Rights Act basically made segregation illegal. So it got rid of segregation. It codified the rights of Black people in the United States of America. All right. And so in doing so, the Conservative Party, which was majority in the South, all right, they were like, we can't have that because these people are now equal to us, when just a month ago, I can call them a nigger and I could deny them a job because they're Black. But now today you're telling me that I can't. I don't like that. You're not the party for me anymore. I don't like what it is that you're doing. And strategists saw an opening for that. Guys, we have an entire voter base in the southern United States of America that we could latch onto. It's kind of like how in current day, Steve Bannon saw that he could basically convince young boys and young men that women are the problem, are the cause of all of their problems. And like, if you vote for the Conservative Party, then you'll be able to legislate yourselves back into the bedroom. All right. Conservative Party. Turn that down. You're echoing.
No, I thought I had it off.
And then with that being said, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, legislate yourselves back into the bedroom. The strategists in the 1960s saw that, hey, if you vote for us, the conservatives, then guess what? You'll be able to legislate yourself back into power. That's what it was. And so that's why you can see the difference between the 1960 election where we got, what's his name? The 1960 election where we got JFK into office, where the South was mostly blue. So conservative, to then going to like the 1964 election where we see that the South is starting to turn red. Do you think that everybody just basically all the conservative people like moved up north and then vice versa? Like, how do we think that it worked? It didn't work that way. They changed their approach. They changed what it is that they believed in. That's all that happened. That's why I always have a problem when it comes to these conversations about it and people keep saying and there was no party switch, because the Democrats wanted slavery. I don't get it. Like, all you have to do is just understand, like, look at the policies prior to the Southern strategy and look at them after the Southern strategy. And then you'll be able to see because the once liberal party started talking about things like states' rights, started talking about things like having smaller government intervention, less social programs. The what is it? The party that was once considered the liberal party was now talking more so about Christian values, right? Therefore, wanting to hold on to those traditions, those ideologies of, we must all follow the Bible. All right. Women have their place here and men have their place there, and the child is here. All right. That's conservatism. That's what it was.
Very
And so
prominent in the
that's how it
70s.
happened. And I don't know. I get frustrated with those conversations, really, because people like look at 19 fucking 20. Like, do you think that fucking the people that were doing the Charleston and the Lily Hop and shit were voting for conservatives? No, they weren't. They weren't.
It's
I'm
it's
sorry.
funny too because we know I believe the most black people statistically still are in the South. A lot of that has to do with economic issues, and most black people vote Democrat.
Yep.
So in everything you just said, disproves many of these points that they make on a daily basis. But again, it's just headlines. They read the headline, they hear a podcaster talk about it. Maybe they
Headline
get into
hoochies.
detail with one person that they maybe they hear one person specifically that they support, and it's like, oh, this is now a broad picture of black people and the Dixiecrats and everything. No, not the case at all.
Yep. And I think that like with black people, we've always had a tendency, and I don't want to speak because I'm not the arbiter of all things black, but not by any sense. Just looking at it like historically and putting it into context, we've always voted for progression. The New Deal was progressive as hell. Like that was super duper progressive. Lyndon Baines Johnson basically working with MLK to, even though he was a fucking staunch he was racist as hell. Like I'm pretty sure I can't prove it. I can't prove it. I'm just sure of it because when you know, you know. LBJ definitely had a card. He was a card carrying member. I don't care. I think LBJ was a card carrying member, but he wasn't stupid, and he did what he had to do. He did what he had to do to get what he wanted. What he wanted was the war. I can't be fighting a war abroad, the Vietnam War. I can't be fighting a war abroad, making myself and my friends all rich and stuff with the world's eyes on me. And we're out here subjugating our citizens to this. We can't keep doing that. We can't do that. So I have to do something. I have to do something. All right. I have to do something. So here, take some equality. When what you should really have is equity, but take some equality. That's another thing also. The equality over equity conversation that people don't understand, because we always get asked the question, well, what can you do as a black, what can I do as a white person that you can't do as a black person? Yeah. And it's like, oh, you don't know what equity is then. Okay. You don't understand that there are still hurdles that are in the way. All right. Yeah. This conversation is going to go nowhere. That shit in the bud.
I think equality served its time, but I think equality is a joke and it's a scapegoat. Essentially, that's what it is. Equality is still not meeting the need. It's still not undoing the harm. It's not fixing the systemic and generational issues started and caused by the predominant society and many of their ancestors. So, fuck it. Equity or
Did your mic
nothing.
just go out?
Did it? Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay.
Connected.
Something disconnected on your end, but we're good now.
YouTube. I'm gonna write my congressman. I'm listening, Hector. I'm sorry.
No, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so equity is the only way going forward. Anytime I hear equality, I'm like, okay, stop it. No. I had another point. I don't remember what it is, so I do want to ask you about Stacey Plaskett. Have you heard anything about her recent failed attempt at censoring?
The amazing Felice has actually been sending me information about it, and it's a lot of info, and I have to read over it, but it has something to do with her because she's like from the Virgin Islands.
One of
And
the delegates?
she basically has something to do in regards to his property out there. Like she was taking money or something. What happened there?
No,
What happened?
I'll say this.
I don't
So
know.
that part I don't know.
Hey,
Republicans
don't
are
believe
doing.
anything I just said. I take it back.
Republicans are trying to make a mountain out of a molehill, in which, to my knowledge, that is simply a text exchange between her and Jeffrey Epstein. And all that was in 2019. She was grilling Homan, is that his name? And asking some questions there. She was having a text exchange because he was one of her constituents at the time, which that part I will say I have yet to substantiate how he was a constituent of her, with her being a delegate of the Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands. So don't hold me to that part, but the rest of this is verified. The text exchange literally was him saying who this one person was, basically saying that he was a pet to this person. And then when it proceeded to do her questioning, which was about 5 minutes, one of the questions involved mentioning the name that Epstein texted her during that whole hearing. The Washington Post put out a video, maliciously edited, of the text exchange. They did line it up with the actual video footage of what was happening and the facial responses. One text where he said, "What are you chewing?" Then she stops chewing. Then she said, "I'm not chewing anymore." So they lined everything up, but then they only showed the text where he mentioned that person's name, Cohen, and then when she asked that question in regards to him. They did not show the rest of it. And then they painted the narrative of he was feeding her questions and feeding her information to go after Trump because he's a political opponent, which is not the case at all. There's no other deeper relationship, to my knowledge, because investigations would still be ongoing, between her and Epstein. She's already came out. She's defended the comments. He's a constituent. And she said, yes, I do take information from anyone who has to offer it when it comes to getting justice for exactly what I'm fighting against. And that just so happened to come from Epstein. Granted, he had a case beforehand. We know that.
Yes.
But at this current time, we didn't have the ruling that took place inevitably before he got arrested. And then, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I'm gonna have to read over it. Felice is so awesome. She sent me a lot of information, but I've been focusing on like this stuff, and also I've been focusing on another case that is going on. So it's been a lot. Like, oh God, the compartmentalizing that I have to do sometimes. And then you already know I wasn't too happy this past weekend. Moving on. So with that being said, because we have about, I want to say 15 to 20 minutes tops before we have to wrap it up. Did you hear about the well, you're in Texas, right? You're in Texas. Also, this Stacey Plaskett thing is a nothing burger, but she is a Black woman. So I'm going to just say that they likely will make it a molehill and no, a mountain. They'll make it a mountain. And what they'll do is they'll just throw her off of it. She'll just be another scapegoat.
And to be clear, I have no issues whatsoever. In fact, she's made it clear that she's open to any further investigation, I guess, or whatnot, to look into her text exchanges, because she would be the one who put this out there. She has no problem with that. She's explained exactly what happened. There's been no deeper connection or relation with Epstein. He was simply a constituent at the time. Epstein was very involved with a lot of prominent Democrats in regards to business dealings and other things. People didn't know, or the ones that did, maybe they didn't care, in which case, by all means, get them out. But they're going after her for a reason. And I am going to make it racial, because we can fast forward to Hakeem Jeffries.
Yeah.
They're trying to go after him too, which, to be clear, fuck Jeffries. But there was a email sent by Lisa Rossi and Leslie Groff back in 2013, because that's when he was basically starting his political career. And he was considered the Brooklyn Barack, which I reject vehemently.
I remember that. I remember that.
So there's an email sent to Epstein about Jeffrey and talking about how he's a rising star in the Democratic Party as a congressman. And they were just exchanging information. I'll read a snippet of that here. We are thrilled to announce that we are working with Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, one of the rising stars in the New York congressional delegation, sometimes referred to as Brooklyn's Barack. Fuck that. He is a staunch supporter of President Obama and a progressive voice for the people of New York City. And why I did a profile piece about his work on the vitally important Budget and Judiciary Committee in Washington. You can watch the video here, read the text below. And it goes on. And this was sent to Jeffrey Epstein for whatever reason that it was. There's been no further correlation between Jeffries and Epstein, and if there is, so be it, yeet him. But now they're just picking at everyone.
Yes,
and the problem with that is, in Jasmine Crockett, that I will play. Jasmine Crockett explained it perfectly. She said, "Oh, do we really want to take anyone named in general in any email and we want to make them a suspect? Do y'all really want to go down that route?"
I don't think they want to go down that route. I don't know. I don't think they want to, because then, you know, Donald was mentioned a lot.
And several other people. Let me find that video here. It was so good. She did so good. I love her.
She's the best.
She did a live stream minutes after Texas, the Texas judge blocked that racist redistricting map. It was so good. So I'm gonna do this here.
Okay.
Pause.
Folks who also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly: Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush, Win Red, McCain Palin, Rick Lazio. I just want to be clear. If this is the standard that we're going to make, just know we're going to expose it all. And just know that the FEC filings, they are available for everybody to review. This is absolutely ridiculous.
She was cooking with gas. I wish I had the full thing here. That was about 31 seconds. But she was cooking with gas because they stayed on Plaskett's neck about it. So then Jasmine came in and was like, "You really want to do this?" And that's exactly what we need in our Congress and our Senate, by the way. W. Jasmine Crockett.
W. Jasmine Crockett. I like that. Yeah, Jasmine doesn't play. She stay ready so she don't have to get ready. That's what she do. She stays ready so she don't have to get ready. And speaking of the holding alive after the Texas ruling this week, yes, that was a win. Like yesterday, that was a win. So in Texas, you all remember that back in August, they were able to implement their new map. This was the new redistricting map where, you know, if you recall the big hubbub about it, where the House Dems in the state of Texas fled the state. Many of them did. Nicole, what was her last name again?
Collier.
Nicole Collier is basically being held hostage in the state capitol. Like it was a whole thing that went on. Like we didn't miss it. So they were sued, and they were sued because of the fact that you can redistrict based on partisan reasons, but you can't redistrict based on racial reasons. And pretty much the letter that Bondi sent on behalf of Trump to Abbott, all right, basically telling them to redistrict. Yeah, they're basically saying that, you know what? This was definitely done for racial reasons. So one of the judges, Justice Brown, well, Judge Brown, I should say, not Justice, but Judge Brown. I have the actual ruling here, the opinion.
Just know that the FEC filings, they are.
I don't think he knows that he's unmuted.
I did. It's stupid audio thing with this.
Okay. So yeah. So I did a video about this, but I did want to read over this, and I'm gonna have to put glasses on because, for the love of God, guys, I can't see without my glasses. Like, this is really bad. I think I need to go. I think I might be old. There we go.
Almost 60.
Almost 60. Okay. There we go. I got glasses on now. Oh, Lord, I can see. That's crazy work. Okay. So I want to read this. This is actually on page 1, and I'm going to go a little bit into page 2, but it's important to get the full context. So Judge Brown says, in August 2025, the state of Texas enacted a new electoral map to govern elections for the U.S. House of Representatives, the 2025 map. Claiming that the 2025 map is racially discriminatory, 6 groups of plaintiffs asked the court to preliminarily enjoin the state from using the 2025 map for the 2026 elections. From using the 2025 map. That's the ruling. They can't use the map. The court orders that the 2026 congressional election in Texas shall proceed under the map that the Texas legislature enacted in 2021. All right. The public perception of this case is that it is about politics. To be sure, politics played a role in drawing the 2025 map, but it was much more than just politics. Substantial evidence shows that Texas racially gerrymandered the 2025 map. Here's why. All right. Earlier this year, President Trump, they mentioned the president in their ruling, began urging Texas to redraw its U.S. House map to create 5 additional Republican seats. Lawmakers repeatedly met that request to redistrict on pure. I'm so sorry. I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb.
Okay, all good.
She better not call back. All right. I already told them that I was going to be busy. All right. But it says, let's see here, on purely partisan grounds with apprehension. When the governor announced his intent to call a special legislative session, he didn't even place redistricting on the legislative agenda. So it wasn't even a part of the plan initially. So then it goes on to say, but when the Trump administration reframed its request as a demand to redistrict congressional seats based on their racial makeup, Texas lawmakers immediately jumped on board. On July 7th, Harmeet Dillon, the head of the Civil Rights Division at the Department of Justice, sent a letter to the governor and attorney general of Texas making the legally incorrect assertion that 4 congressional districts in Texas were unconstitutional because they were coalition districts, majority non-white districts in which no single racial group constituted a 50% majority. In the letter, Department of Justice threatened legal action if Texas didn't immediately dismantle and redraw these districts, a threat based entirely on their racial makeup. And notably, the DOJ letter targeted only majority non-white districts. Any mention of majority white Democrat districts, which the DOJ presumably would have also targeted if its aims were partisan rather than racial, were conspicuously absent.
Kamala would never.
Kamala would never. Thank you. Thank you. Kamala would fucking never. Think about it.
HB4 was introduced and passed within 30 days.
Yep.
30 days. It was not voted on by Democrats. It was Republicans, and it was fast-tracked, and they used the full force of Texas DPS and everyone else to go after anyone who opposed it. I would fucking know, because I was one of the people at the Capitol who was protesting when they held Nicole Collier in that damn House of Representatives chamber for 3 days. And I will say I did not expect this. I expected it to fully go through. I did not expect the judge to block it in the state of Texas. That is a huge, huge win. Texas got a huge win right now, especially after the losses we've had, even with the last 17 props that were just passed. This is a huge deal. So if you're in Texas and you're a political junkie, you absolutely should be celebrating this act. But we still have some more ways to go.
So here's the deal with it all, though. As I talked to someone else about this yesterday, super briefly, because I just wanted to get their thoughts on it and see like what did they think about it. And because my whole thing is that not that this is a Voting Rights Act Section 2 case, because that's not what this case hinges on. This case basically hinges on the intent of the the intent of the letter from the Department of Justice. That's what this case in Texas hinges on. All right. But I wanted to basically, because when I read about this, the connection that came to me was the connection to, what is it called? The connection to the Louisiana versus Calais case. That is about basically districting and creating districts based solely on race, is what that one is about. And it's coming out of Louisiana. That doesn't take much. But basically, Louisiana had to create 6 new districts back in 2021. And they did. But what they did is they did packing, which is a gerrymandering technique where they take basically all the Black people and they put them into one district so that they can have the illusion of representation. But because there'll never be the majority, they don't really have any representation. So it was actually fought by civil rights groups to determine that, hey, this is discriminatory against us because you're forgetting people in like the southeastern part of the state. You're not taking into account the people in the northern part of the state, so on and so forth. So what Louisiana, the Supreme Court found that Louisiana actually had to redraw their maps, and they did, and they created a second district that was majority Black. All right, so giving us more representation within the state. So that's what they did. But white folks in the state of Louisiana was like, nah, it don't work that way, because if we bought this case before you, you wouldn't find it to be in our favor because we're white. And so what we then have to do is we want to get rid of that second district is what we want to do, because the majority of the Black people already have this one district where they're receiving, again, representation. So the Louisiana versus Calais case, Calais, I always say it wrong. I say it right. I can never get it. Part of me wants to say Calais, but it's not that. Basically, with this one is if they find in favor of Louisiana, then what's going to end up happening is that it's going to strip away the representation. It's going to allow them to do the packing and the cracking. The cracking is when they take it and they like where like Black people live, they make like these small districts out of them and they put them all across the state in different parts. And so they never again can collectively have the majority to get representation for themselves. It's always like you're like in this tiny little district. You can look at a map from Ohio to see how cracking is implemented. I wish I could bring it up on the screen for you guys right now. But yeah, you can look at, actually I can. Let me see here. But that would be an example of cracking. So I'm going to show you packing first. And I actually did a video about this. So we do have that, but I'll show you this first. So this right here, all right, this is packing. All right, you see how here they have that one district right there? There's a one district. That's the Black. Those are the Black people. That's the, what they call it, a majority minority district right there. So there's that. And this is cracking. Cracking is when you split it up. So you split up the minority vote. This is cracking. And this is a map of Ohio. So this is what it is right here, just to show you all what it looks like. Okay, so with that being said, I think I had this one up. There we go. So with that being said, basically Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, and I do want to read this off because it's extremely important. All right. Section 2 basically, it means that, how can I put this? All right. Voters can challenge the electoral systems. All right. And the challenges can be based off of extreme racial discrimination, as well as the intent of the creators of the maps. So that's why when I was reading about the whole DOG letter, and I saw that they were arguing the intent of the letter, I was like, well, this is a redistricting, which is gerrymandering, is literally what they're doing. So these two things are in a sense connected.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that with the Texas case, Hector, is that they have ruled that Texas is going to have to use the 2021 maps for the 2026 election.
So last time it was
Also,
officially done.
yeah, that's what I was reading earlier. So they said that it's on appeal to the Supreme Court. So unless the Supreme Court says that they don't have to, then they have to use the 2021 map.
I actually think the Supreme Court may side with us on this one.
Possibly. But here's the thing about it is, and that's what I'm hoping for. And the reason why I'm hoping for that is because the Supreme Court isn't supposed to rule on the Louisiana case until the summer of 2026. And yesterday, I was thinking that they would probably rule on a Texas case first, but no, new information. They actually will likely rule on the Louisiana case first, then Texas. But either way that they rule is going to have an impact and kind of set the precedent for how they will basically decide moving forward. Basically, the thing is with the Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, it's really all that we have left of it, outside of like the framework of the law. So like the framework, of course, grants us protections in that we have the right to vote. I'm talking when I say us, I mean Black people. It grants us the right to vote. It makes poll taxes, literacy tests, things like that illegal, but the equal protections of it are being gutted. They've already gotten rid of Section 5 along with the pre-clearance provision in Section 4. And the pre-clearance provision was the one that said that certain counties, certain states had to prove that their electoral decisions were in fact not discriminatory. But with the removal of the pre-clearance provision is now where the people who basically are being discriminated against have to prove that they are, being discriminated against, which is tough. That's a burden. It's hard to prove it. Because like if it's not written in black and white, then it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. But I have one more thing because Erica really does need to catch a bubble. So with that being said, all right, Section 2 is really like the last remaining equal protection. And the difference about Section 2 is that it's nationwide. It applies to every single state, every single county, every single city. It is not something that is only for certain counties in the South. No, this is nationwide. And this is what allows us to be able to say, hey, Ohio, your map is taking away the vote from Black and brown people. All right, is able to do that also in North Carolina. It is because, again, a case in 2019 made it so that they are able to redraw their maps based on partisan reasons. So I want more Democrats in this area. I want more Republicans in this area, and I can split it up and crack it and pack it however I want to, if it's based on partisan reasons. But if it is based racially, then it's illegal. And that was the Rucho versus Common Cause case. It went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the court found that partisan is okay, racial is not. So with that being said, if we get rid of Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, then drawing maps based on race becomes legal. That's why we don't want to get rid of Section 2. We don't want to get rid of Section 2. And the craziest thing about it is basically Kavanaugh says something before. He says something to the effect of, haven't we done enough for you people? When it came to the Voting Rights Act, like literally, like that was basically what he said.
Y'all still begging?
Like, haven't we done enough for you people? Matter of fact, I want to get the quote. But so far, what are your thoughts on Section 2?
I think Kavanaugh is actually one of a few Republicans who've basically said things along those lines, or people who have justified it, basically saying, "Oh, isn't that something that you would want? You'd want your people to be over here. You want your representatives to be over here, so they can excuse federalizing their policies that would utterly impact everything that we would want in our one area." Um, I think it's going to be interesting next couple of weeks. I don't think we've seen much hope in the preservation
Mm-hmm.
of the Voting Rights Act, like at all. Um, it was actually one of your videos I was watching where you spoke on it, where I went and did some reading, and I was just like, I don't even know how we got this far.
How?
To be honest with you, you thought that you would think this would be something that was just cemented. It wouldn't be anything that's being touched, but it's very much one of the worst parts of Project 2025 happening. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't. Here's to hoping that we get a bit more checking and a bit more balancing, because as of right now, it's already gone far.
Yep. And here's the thing that Kavanaugh said. Basically, this was in October. Oh, thank you for that. This is in October. Thank you, Vicky. This is where Kavanaugh basically said that they should have an endpoint. He basically stated that race-based remedies under the Voting Rights Act should be permitted only for a limited period of time. Again, that they should have an endpoint, were his exact words during the oral arguments. Bruh, like, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Racism exists. Racism isn't some shit that just happens at the workplace. Racism isn't just calling a Black person an N-word. It is systemic and systematic. So redrawing maps, all right, and effectively erasing people's representation, that is that is what is it? I can't even think of the word right now, but people, that is a clear drawn out sign of systemic racism. They are taking away our ability to vote for the candidates that we want. They're in effect choosing our candidate for us. And it's not even someone that's going to work on behalf of us. They're not going to fight for the same things that you care about. And that's not okay. That was the whole purpose of the darn going Voting Rights Act to begin with.
What's crazy is that in the loosest sense, I agree with him. These things are supposed to be up until a point. But if the point is racism, then it's for an eternity.
But the point, exactly, like, it hasn't ended. Racism still exists. So how do we stop having to have these provisions in place? Like, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Chief Justice Roberts, he said this also. He says, the way to stop discrimination on the basis of race is to stop discriminating on the basis of race.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, but I think that's a whole hell of a lot easier said than done for a whole lot of people.
I don't know what they think. Okay, cool. It's no different from when we're having conversations with people on this app about racism. And then they go, well, I don't do this and I'm not that. I'm like, well, you're not the rest of this country. You're not the rest of the planet. You are one small drop in the pool of this entire system. And quite frankly, racists don't care what you have to say. They don't care what words you choose not to say. They don't care what microaggressions you may not utilize, which they all do. To some degree, they all do. They don't care. So
they don't care.
Good for you. Good on you for thinking that you're deconstructing. Oftentimes they're not. It only takes the right question to show it. Good on you, I guess. But the rest of the world doesn't think like you. They don't care to. And this is where our laws come into play. This is where things like these provisions come into play and are necessary, because it isn't going away. So this idea that it is, and that we can just undo these provisions as if racists aren't still in either party, especially the Republican Party right now. Like,
Hector, do they think that if they get rid of these provisions, that all of a sudden they're going to just literally start drawing these maps based off of party affiliation? Really?
The argument is, when we stop doing things for race, we end racism. Just like it's
That's
not the
exactly what
races.
it was kind of like, hey, if we don't talk about it, then it doesn't exist.
Don't
This
I
is not
wish?
how any of this works.
Mhm.
It's simply not how any of this works. I just want people to know that. It, I don't know. You got any good news?
Um, the good news is we had a couple small wins incrementally throughout the last couple of weeks, but I do think we are seeing a pattern on a wave that we can see come midterms to take back the country. I know that's a little bit vague, but the specifics. The November 4th wins, Texas.
Yeah.
We have. I think Warren stepping down is fantastic. I think that's fantastic. That's an actual thing to celebrate. And I know a lot of people have contention with her. I'm more of the firm belief that she did one hell of a job in her prime, and she upheld democracy up until now. Definitely a lot of failures within the last couple of years, but her stepping down and getting someone new to take that position is a good thing. We want the party to grow. We want to see younger people in there. We want to see more progressive people in there. So, did I say Pelosi or Warren?
You
I
said
meant
Warren.
Pelosi.
You said
I meant
Warren. I was
Pelosi.
like, Warren stepping down? I was
Yeah.
gonna let you rock.
Pelosi, my apologies.
Okay.
Pelosi stepping down. Warren should soon enough. Pelosi stepping down is great for the party, and I think that can get a lot more people, a lot more progressives to be motivated to vote this way again.
Interesting. Very interesting. I think Pelosi was definitely a stronger leader in the Democratic Party than Jeffries and Schumer.
Oh, 6,000%.
Like they are such
If we were
like,
to if
can
we
I
were to
say
put
the
them to the
word?
side and bring Pelosi back, I'd take that. To be honest with
Yeah.
you, Pelosi was fantastic.
I just want to say this, like they some pussies. I said it. I'm gonna say it again. They some pussies. They are. They don't get anything accomplished whatsoever. And I do not want them. You know what the thing is? I don't rant because I gotta get Bubba. I'll talk about this later on the live. Oh, they get on my nerves. But yeah, we had some happiness in the last 2 weeks, some stuff to celebrate, even though there were some things that we could have done a lot better. On the left, we did have some wins. So shout out to Mom Donnie. So there's that. I don't really have much for entertainment news. I really did think that Jeffrey's egg-shaped penis was really funny. It blew me. It was hilarious. I don't care what anyone says. It was hilarious to me. What? But again, I'm glad we don't have those photos, and I'm not that curious to go looking for them if they do exist. All right. But with that being said, I don't know. Fly Eagles fly, because like I don't do sports. I don't do sports ball. I don't. You don't either.
Someone mentioned a Katie Wilson. I'll look that up in my own time. I'm
Katie
reading up here
Wilson,
that she's
who's
a
that?
candidate. Seattle mayor-elect.
Cool.
Oh, she is Seattle's first Democratic Socialist mayor. So we have another Democratic Socialist win in Seattle.
Awesome.
This I
Democratic
did not
socialism
know.
for the win.
Huh. Thank you for that. I'm going to look into this more. Thank you for that.
For the
See?
win.
We're seeing a pattern, y'all.
Awesome. Seeing a pattern? Are you starting to notice something?
I'm just happy because I've identified as a democratic socialist for some time, and
I didn't know
finally
that.
getting some representation here.
I didn't know that.
So
I do also.
I didn't
So
know
that's
how
why
to
I'm like,
term it.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know the word for it.
That's why we both hate communism.
Bluetooth.
You know what? You know
For
what?
communism to be a thing. I really would. I would love for communism to be a thing. It's just not gonna friggin' work.
I'm going to, for once, not take this opportunity to say what I want to say in regards to that. Let's
And I
just
hope
say
people aren't listening. I'll be in trouble.
for the communists, we are technically closer to your ideology than ever before. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Because we got two Democratic Socialist mayors. That is hilarious. That is so fucking funny. Okay. All right. Well, Hector, you got anything else for the people?
Yeah. thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's been a
Yes.
wonderful little show. Appreciate all your supports. I saw a couple comments. Obviously, in this format, we're not going to be reading out things on the fly. Did like one or two. It's like, no, stop doing that. But I do see all of you. I appreciate all of your support, your likes, your shares, your taps, your gifts. Thank you very much, Feisty, for the donation. And we will see y'all again. We will see y'all again soon.
Awesome. And what should they remember? Who am I?
She's the fun.